Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking every video I've been posting. Today I felt like we should just do something new. Discuss what we go through as singers, our up times, how we make money, how sometimes we don't make money. But as singers, what we go through, and I have
Raphael.
in the building. In the building, Audio 5. I've not seen you in this studio this year. Very soon.
Very soon.
Body,
Showcase.
don't worry. So we'll be discussing some things, but first of all, let's get him to introduce himself, what he does, and how he does it. So,
Okay, my name is Raphael Joseph Ilaumo. I'm a singer, songwriter.
okay.
I am in the creative space. I edit videos, do other things, and publicity, among other things. But my main primary focus is singing.
Singing. Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you go from singing to doing other things?
Man, you know how Nigeria is now.
No, I don't. I'm from Senegal.
Anyways, Nigeria is a really hard place. So
Yes.
talent is not enough in Nigeria.
True,
You
true.
actually have to have enough funds. So singing and songwriting was beautiful, but wasn't paying me at the time. So I needed to have other streams of income so that I could fuel my dreams, or else I'll be frustrated. And probably I go down the push truck somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay, most people might know you, but for the people who haven't heard you,
Who don't know
before,
me, Abi?
yes, don't sing it too close to the mic so it doesn't blast.
So
it.
I don't
Yeah.
destroy people's care. With Audio 5, you can fly to your dreams. Said yes, you can fly with your skills if you believe.
Taboo. Before you can collect people's girlfriend. So you see the caliber of people I'm bringing. This guy can sing. He's my very good friend and he can sing.
Yeah.
So how did music start for you?
Music. First of all, music was like, I just believed music was a gift that God just gave me to just play with. Like, I didn't really take it serious.
Okay, so you've known how to sing for a long time.
I discovered I could sing when I was very young.
Okay, why? Sometimes it's not because you can sing. Sometimes maybe you're surrounded with people that can sing, so you just influenced you naturally.
Okay, let me give an example.
Okay.
I lived in a very rural, urban
Okay,
trenches, exactly, you know as it be. And then I used to hear one lady sing all the time. And to me, oh God forgive me, but that auntie's voice was not really, not really sounding very well, just there. So one day she was singing a particular song, and I was now singing the song too, and the auntie just kept quiet. And then she now asked me, like, obviously trenches now. She know say we no get money to even go vocal training or anything. She was not like, this your voice is beyond
This place.
where we were. And another thing was, I grew up listening to a lot of genres of music, like a lot, jazz, anyone. So I didn't know that all those stuff were like training me.
But wait,
become a very good
because I know one thing about music is what you input in is input out.
Yeah.
Is the output. But being in the trenches, who was playing jazz? All this other
Okay,
stuff.
Dad had this radio.
Okay.
So most times when lights no day, that is
Okay.
when the
So
power is
other
out,
genres.
you will on
Yeah.
the radio down. And then it was at a particular station, they play a lot of genres of music. So I was listening to all of them. And I had this like small flair for mimicking sounds.
Yes,
So
yes.
most times I'll just sing along, especially if the song is familiar, I'll sing along.
That's the
and
best
try
way to learn. That's
exactly
how they sang it.
yeah, how it sounds. So when I now sang in front of that auntie, and she was like, she knew, like, she was looking like me. She was looking at me like, where you go collect this kind of training? Like, she has been in the choir, and forgive God help that church, yeah. But she has been in the choir, and she could tell the difference. So when I knew it was really serious was when I started growing up, and then there was a day I was singing in front of my house, and some ladies just stopped and they were telling me to go to Project Film. That time Project Film was the in
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They were telling me to go to Project Film, but I still didn't take it serious. When I now got into school, tertiary institution, and then my friends would try singing, and then I'll sing, and then everybody would just keep quiet and look at me like, yeah. So I now started looking at it like, okay, like I see this singing thing is actually working out for me. Then I started taking it serious from there and stuff.
Okay. So what would you say is the role of skill in music? Do you think it's that important to be very skillful? Or because for someone like you, you're really skillful with what you do. So do you think skill is very important in this our Nigerian industry currently?
Currently in Nigerian industry, the only people I would say appreciate skills in the gospel Christian sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
it's only in the gospel
you're only in the
music
mostly in the
industry.
gospel.
Yeah.
But looking at the secular now, I'm seeing some people like doing some extraordinary things.
Like
Okay, let's say Rema. Rema came out,
is
and
Rema doing
let me just say Rema. Rema came out with this
for
particular
Rema
kind of.
fans? I'm sorry. Oh, vibe.
Yeah,
Yes,
Rema
yes,
came out
yes,
with this
yes.
different vibe that was just different from
Yes.
how everybody was sounding. And I was just talking in terms of sound, like he
Okay.
came out with a different sound.
Okay.
And you could say Thames too. Thames. At
Yes,
first, I
yes.
was not really warming up to her but it was just different. So like, and why I'm happy is because it's different and it's actually working.
Yes.
Yeah, because before
If
people,
it was different, no.
I,
I don't want to hear it.
because before it was just different. Everybody just wanted to hear the bang bang and
Okay.
stuff.
So does that give you hope that you putting so much work in learning these skills would pay off someday
Yeah,
in your own style of music?
yeah. But when I look at my yes, because when I look at my music life, I'm not just seeing it within Nigeria. I'm seeing like an international
Yes.
brand.
Platform.
So trying so hard, working so hard to make my voice up to the international standard, so that someone from Japan can listen, someone from US can listen and stuff, and not just be only Nigerians relating to what I'm singing. Like,
Okay, so for people who are not really like musical, they might be saying, "Oh, we're going too deep." So we would later maybe ask him to come back and discuss one or two things, or teach us one or two riffs. Maybe he will do it before we go. But I also want to ask, what was like the highest point of your singing career that made you feel like, no, I'm going to continue this singing? Like, most times when you just keep going, but maybe there's one thing that happened that I would just, let me see for myself. When I was doing music production, I was just doing it, but we don't have one song that I've blown yet. But at some point again, I'll see people who leave America and come to Nigeria to come and produce with me. So that was like one of the highest point of my career. Like, there are so many people. If you are in America, there are so many other choices of where you
Like,
can travel to. You can go to
what?
South Africa and get some of the best production, but you decided
why they had to fly down to
yeah, down to
Nigeria?
Nigeria. So I would say that was one of the peak moments for my career. So do you have moments like that kept you going, like, well, if this thing could have happened, then bigger things can happen?
Okay, I have a similar story to that. Well, I would say the first mark that made me feel like this was it, was when I recorded my first song. Funny enough, I recorded my first song.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, Ogo.
I was the producer.
He was the producer. So Ogo, at first I was skeptical because that was like my first project. This was me coming out, and I was scared, like, this thing may not be. And I'm not like, after we finished recording the whole song and we're done, I just kept it in my phone. I just didn't.
For like how long?
I kept it in my phone for like, I think a month or so.
1 month is not long. Some of my clients keep song for like 2 years. And I'm calling them abroad, so you go still really kept it on your phone.
It was on my phone for like a month plus. And then I was sharing it to some few people, like, okay, listen to this thing. And then they'll listen to it and they'll be like, wow, is that you? And I'm, yes. And they're like, oh, wow, it's nice. So there's a friend of mine. They used to call him my twinnie. So he came around one time and we're talking, and he was giving me this talk about, guy, you have to be serious with your life, blah, blah, blah. You can sing and you have not recorded one song, blah, blah, blah. Just to shut him off. I was like, yeah, come first. Come, listen to this song. And then listen to it. And he listened to it and listened to it. And he was like, guy, you did this? I was like, yes. Alpha, is it okay? Are you kidding me? I was like, wow. So when the song came out, and I was getting positive remarks, like, people felt like, most of the remarks were, guy, you sound like you have been writing songs for years.
A long time.
Yeah, like, you just came out with this, and this is like your first project. So I just looked at it like, wow, so music, this is actually something I want to do. Okay, another point was, it was this year, and I was in this music group cousin's group. I think
Mm.
that's the name.
Mhm.
And some of us were asked to teach some people some aspects of music and blah blah. So I was in charge of teaching people exotic skill, there's Arabic skill and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So when we're done, he asked me to, before we started, he asked us to do a sample of what we could do based on the area which we were going to teach, and then we should send it to him. So he made a video and he posted it on his status, normal WhatsApp status. I post on WhatsApp status most times, so they really bring anything back.
Yeah.
So I got a call from somebody, and he said he was from Abuja. I was like, okay. And he said, I heard me, he was asking me a series of questions. Have you were a Muslim, blah, blah, blah. Where did you grow up? Did you ever have any links with Arab, and blah, blah, blah. I was telling him, no, no, no. And he was shocked, and then he just told me, send your account number. And me, I was like, account number by how? I don't understand. Well, me, there's one thing I do in my life. If you tell me send your account number, I'll first drop it first.
You send your account number.
And then ask questions later. So I was like, sir? That sir was pulling the account number. And then the next thing, this man just sent me some amount of money. Like, that's like somebody's salary for a whole month. And he just sent it to me by just viewing my song. Viewing me singing on somebody else's status, and just traced me to him. And I was like, wow.
So that might have blessed him a whole lot for him to have done that.
I was surprised, like, wow, like through status, like really, wow. And then it went bigger from there. The man's birthday was coming up, and his wife contacted me through that same guy that posted me on the status and stuff. They said that the man's birthday is coming up, but she wants to surprise her husband. That would I be available to fly? I stay in Lagos, so he was like, would I be available to fly to Abuja to come and surprise her
also
husband?
in Nigeria too.
Also in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking about this, like, how extraordinary is the voice that I want to come and fly me to Abuja? I was like, okay, no problem, sure. And then she booked my flight tickets to and fro. Actually, that was the first time I was boarding the flight. So flew to Abuja, lodged me somewhere, we stayed. When it was time for me to surprise the man, I came up, I played the guitar, I sang, and the man was surprised and he was so happy to see me. And I was like, wow, like this music thing is really bigger than I actually expected. Yeah, so like those were my high points. Another of my high points was getting into Nigerian Idol. Okay. Because it was like a big step for me, because I always been pushed to go there, and I just felt like I didn't think I would go too far. So it was a big point for me. So with that, music, we are not going anywhere.
You are going to hold it down. So I'll say for the next phase of it, if there was an high point, there might have been low points too, because for musicians, it's actually an emotional job. If you are not connected to it emotionally, you cannot really give your best.
Yes, yeah.
So most people say, I try not to be emotional about it. There's no way we'll not be emotional about this. So as for you, what would you say was the lowest point that almost got you to quit?
My lowest point was, as singers, especially churches, I'm so sorry that I'm mentioning churches, but I have to drag
we are church boys, so
yeah, I have to
we will have to correct it because we are from the church.
I have to drag church into this, because I was invited to come and sing somewhere, I think close to Sango. Oh, God.
Yeah, so good, is not good.
And I took my time at night, body blind, flying bus, Okada and everything, got there, sang, they were blessed. This one is obvious, they were blessed. And then everybody was just coming to meet me, sir, you blessed us, blah, blah, blah. So normally, like, you invite somebody over, like, you should at least be interested in the person's welfare. Like, okay, sir, are you going to get back and stuff?
Even if you don't have much.
Even if you don't have much, like, I didn't ask you to pay, but at least it's courtesy.
Yeah.
And then I was waiting. That's how the church, it came empty, and I was looking around, like, okay, I called somebody, like, sorry, how would I get back home? And the person was even directing me, like, when you come outside, you get that bike. And I was like, well, and that's how I just went to. And I've had series of, like, I've had series of events like that. Some will just shake you and tell you, God bless you, my brother.
Okay, so let me just chip in here. Many people don't know I used to be an artist, and I would say most Saturdays were the most depressing days of my life. Why? On Friday, I just finished school, so on Friday nights, which is like the normal Nigerian thing, there's always an event. Sometimes I'll go to 3-4 events, enter a bar, like guest new star, yeah, jumping up and down. And the most popular prayer I usually get is the God of Frank Edward. If God had lifted Frank Edward, the God had lifted this one. And you'll be feeling like, sir, I came with like 5 people.
It's because I have Frank
How
Edward.
how will they get home? And you just say, don't worry, sir. Or the worst one is, send your account number. And you call these people till forevermore. But because we are Christians, we can actually talk about our struggles with the church.
Yeah.
It's getting better now, like
Yeah, it's
before.
getting better.
Before everybody was too spiritual to pay anything. But now people are getting to understand that this is people's livelihood.
Yeah.
And they should actually pay for it. So apart from those moments of going to events, was there any other low moment for you?
Low moments.
Let me remind you of one we're just thinking about. So going for that auditioning of one artist like that.
Okay, that's what
let me, I actually remember this gist. I wanted you to talk about. Don't mention names.
I'll not mention
names.
So there was this guy, a friend of mine, just
hopefully you are watching it and you're changing.
Yeah, chatted me up and told me that somebody wants to, like, there's this music project and he would like me to join and blah blah blah. Give me the guy's number and then we communicated and I joined the group. So I joined the group, and then I now asked, and I saw the guy who was in charge of the project now slid into my DM, entered my DM and was like, I hope you have been briefed about blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, yes sir, fine, cool. And then I now asked him, sorry, please, is there any plan for my welfare? Like, I'm coming all the way from my house and this project is not a one-day thing. You're doing it like consecutively for probably a week or two. Okay. So like, is there any plan for my welfare? Let me know if I'm coming there for free or stuff. I didn't ask him how much are you going to pay me. I just asked him, is there any plan for my welfare? And the first thing that this brother just told me was he cannot pay, that is God that will pay me. And I was like, I'm not asking you pay. Why are you calling God's name? He was not like, I like money too much, blah blah blah. That is why I've not succeeded in life. I was like, bro. I was like, bro. Said he has a gift that he has seen me. That's why I've not gone far. I was like, hold up, sir. You don't know me. You don't know me from anywhere. You don't know me from anywhere. Because I just ask you, I'm just asking for welfare. I'm not saying pay me 2 million or something. Where is all this talk coming from? Blah blah blah. That he has seen me. That's why I've not gone far. I was like, okay, fine. I was like, okay. The annoying part was now he told me to. I think you should pray to God. You should ask God about. I should ask God about him. And I was like, you go and pray to God. I ask God about me first. So I sent him some scriptures to like read based on like I'm not part of. I'm not being carnal about it. Like a good laborer is worthy of his wages. Let's just leave that one aside. You're saying you don't want to pay, but really, if you want to look into this thing, a good laborer is worthy of his wages. Like, I'm working for you. You are going to pay for this studio. Yes. That you're going to, you're using.
And God is not paying for that one.
God is not paying for that one. You pay for auditorium. You pay for your transport. You pay for
the engineer.
You pay for the engineer. You pay for all these things. And then it's now my turn. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for welfare. Probably, okay, would there be transport fare or just like, how am I going to be taken care of? And you're not telling me God. And then he was also, so I sent him some scriptures. Funny thing was, this sir that said he had the gift was telling me that he doesn't know the Bible. And I'm now wondering where the gifts come from. So to me, that was like, I was looking at it like, saying like this people going to insult us because of something.
Okay, so let me give one more story. Then we'll now call it to a close because you're almost close to 30 minutes. Right. So there was one period, as I said, I used to go to events. So when I noticed the time will come for us to actually become famous, become influential. Yeah. We are not actually after fame, but the time will come. We're very sure. But while the time would come, we'll have to be busy doing other things and be proving ourselves and paying our dues. So while I was singing, the same area where I used to sing that I was a little bit popular with, I switched from singing, being a singer, to becoming a sound engineer. I'm also a sound engineer. And this same area that I used to go to, that do not give me 5K, will pay me 300K, 500K to set up sound in that same area. And the same set of people that paid me 300K, 500K we'll still not pay those artists that come and sing at that event. Like I'll be at that event, I've collected my balance, I'm about to pack up. Then I'll just see one or two artists back up outside, partying that no come outside if I don't go break your head. And I'm looking at it, it was not that there was no availability of funds. They might not have fund even when they were talking to me. But it was that priority that they would bring an engineer that knows his work, that knows his onion. So if they could have sacrificed to pay me, they can sacrifice to pay any other person. So that changed my perspective about events and gospel event and the rest of it. So before we round up, I'll say, what would you change with what you know now? If you had to go back in time, what would you change about your journey in music?
If I could go back in time, I think I'll put myself out more. I'll put myself out more.
Okay, you didn't do that.
I didn't
much
really do
before.
that much before. I was just shy, hiding in my house and singing in the bathroom, disturbing my neighbors and my landlady. And I think I'll put myself out more.
Thank you for coming. So should we be expecting anything from you before the end of the year in terms of fire songs?
Fire songs. So hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, by God's grace, to be. Thank you for coming on the show. So your handles for people that would like to follow you.
My handles are everything is at Ilao Morafel, with on Instagram,
I'll spell it
Twitter,
down there.
Facebook, TikTok.
So thank you for joining us. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this session because as church boys, we've seen a lot, but we've actually been through it and we've come out through the other side. And we are hoping for the next level. And very sure if you had come out through the first phase of owing us money and making calls, I'm very sure we'll come out through the next phase. So for any other thing, just read the caption and we'll write every other thing. Thank you for joining us. Kindly like, subscribe, and share. Comment on your own experience. If you're a church boy, a church girl that has seen Pepper in the hand of 20 people, kindly comment and let's keep the conversation going.